أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين ربي زدني علما نافعا. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome back to our Tajweed sessions. I hope you have been practicing with us on each session and revising to make sure that you articulate these letters to the best of your ability. If you remember from our previous sessions, we were grouping these letters according to where in the mouth and in the throat they are pronounced. So in Arabic we said the makhraj, the point of articulation where these letters are pronounced. So in this session now we want to continue with that, but I want to show you in the group form, and inshallah we are going to work out about 8 to 11 groups. So we are going to group all of these Arabic letters together to where exactly they are pronounced. Now let's go together, let's start together. Group 1, if you remember, okay, we had discussed in our previous session, group 1 we said was Alif and Hamza, but we are going to put that later down because Alif and Hamza, they come from the chest or from the bottom of the throat. Okay, so now we're going to look at group 1. Brothers and sisters, if you remember, group 1, we talked about the letters that are starting from the lips. So if you remember from our previous sessions, we said we are going to start from the front of the mouth and we are going to work our way to the back of the mouth, into the throat and to the bottom of the throat. Okay, right. Group 1, brothers and sisters, if you remember, we had 3 letters. Okay, we had ba, if you remember how we pronounced ba and how we articulated it. We had mim, ba and mim, and then we had a third letter, okay, wow, just like how you say wow in English, you're astonished, you're amazed, wow, perfect. Okay, this is group 1. I want to add another letter in group 1 so that we can complete this letter, because it sort of is left out, it's sort of in between the teeth, it's used from the teeth, it's also used in the lips, but I want to include the letter fa. So let's regroup from, it's good to always have a revision session as well, but we're going to go quickly because I'm sure you already know and you are already well versed in ba, mim and wow, because we said, and I'll repeat, they are equivalent to the letter B in English, equivalent to the letter M in English, equivalent to the letter W in English, and this we said is equivalent to the letter F in English. Now fa, quickly. Brothers and sisters, very simple. The front tooth teeth are coming out and are holding onto the bottom lip, and they are pulling it, they are pulling the lip in. Fa, very basic. Just like how we say F in English, F for fun, F for future, okay? Fa, fa. The front 2 teeth, again, brothers and sisters, are coming out and they are holding on to the bottom lip and they are pulling the lip towards it. Fa. That is group 1, brothers and sisters. Let's look at group 2, okay? Let's go together. Group 2, Bismillah. Group 2. I hope this is clear to you at home and when you're watching online. Group 2. Group 2, we said, if you remember from our previous sessions, we had the letters that are moving now towards the teeth. And they are working to the front of the teeth, the incisors, the top and bottom incisors. And they are also working with the tip of the tongue. Brothers and sisters, if you remember, the first letter we said was tha. Okay? If you remember from our previous session, we said ta. But I'm going to bring that into the later groups, okay? Because now we want to go into the order as how we are starting from the lips and we are going towards into the throat, okay? It's going to be very simple. Because you guys already did ta and dal and ta, so we are going to quickly go over that in group 3 and you already know that. Fantastic. Tha, do you remember how we said tha? Okay, the tip of the tongue is coming out, it's protruding out between the upper and lower incisors, the front 2 teeth, but it's sort of going towards the top, okay? Tha, if you can observe clearly, tha, right? It's going towards the top. And when you are pronouncing it, when you are exhaling, right, there's sort of like air being pushed from the tongue, between the tongue and the front two teeth. And we said tha is the smaller, is the little sister. The bigger brother, we said, was dhal. It's a bit more stronger. You know what's happening right now, if you remember from our previous session, the tongue is coming in between the two incisors, okay, but it's applying a bit more pressure and it's protruding a bit more than tha. We said in English, okay, tha and dhal. What is the similar, sounds that we have in English? So tha, thought, I think, just exactly like that. The th in thought and think is the letter tha. And for dhal, we said th, the book, the park, this lesson, okay? It's exactly the same in Arabic as these words and these sounds that we are making in English. Right, I want to add another letter to this as we left it off in our last session. If you remember towards the end, we had tha and dhal. Another letter that is in the same group, it is dha. Dear brothers and sisters, bear with me here just for a few moments. Dhal is a flat letter. Do you remember we said there are certain, if you remember from our previous sessions, there are certain flat letters and there are certain rounded letters, full letters. So the flat letters, as we said, ba, mim, waw, fa, you know, the lips are stretched, okay? You're sort of smiling with a Colgate smile. Ba, fa, okay? Ba, fa, mim, waw. Tha, dhal. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ. ثَلَاثَ. Okay, as we say in Arabic, the number three, thalatha. Makes sense, right? 3, th, 3 and thalatha. Okay, it's a good way to practice at home. Tha and dhal, they are flat letters. Dha, now, it is the exact same way you're going to start, the exact same way as dhal, like as if you're going to be pronouncing dhal. The only difference, brothers and sisters here, please bear with me, the only difference is that you are rounding your lips. Rounding your lips. Dha. Okay? Dhal. Dha. Dhal. Dha. Alhamdulillah, that's very clear. Group 3, brothers and sisters. Group 3. Okay? We had already gone through some of these letters previously. Okay? They were, right? Now we are moving more inside. So now we started from the front of the teeth. Now we're moving behind the teeth, the incisors. Ta, dal, and ta. And we had explained this in our previous session. If you remember, just for a recap, ta is the more softer letter, dal is a bit more heavier, and ta is the heaviest. Okay? So ta and ta is the smaller sister, ta is the bigger brother. The only difference is that ta, you're pronouncing it very softly, very gently. Ta, and as I said, ta is a flat letter, dal is also a flat letter. Ta is a rounded letter, brothers and sisters. Dha, ta. So ta, what's happening is that you're rounding your lips, and I'm not going to repeat where exactly they are pronounced from because we had discussed it before. Just to recap, just to hint to you guys, the tip of the tongue is rising up behind the front two incisors and it's at the point where the gums are starting, okay? Ta, dal, ta, right? Okay. Let's go to another group that is almost at the same point as where these letters are pronounced from, right? We are going to group 4. Brothers and sisters, group 4, please pay attention. These 3 letters, dear brothers and sisters, are almost at the same place where ta, dal and ta are coming from. But what's happening is that if you look at this letter, lam, and we said it's similar to the English equivalent of L. And if you think about when you're saying the letter L, just hold that there. What's happening is that your tongue is rising up, just like how in this group, your tongue is rising up. It's going towards the top, the back of the front two teeth. It's not going to the tip of the gums. It's going a bit more higher to the gums, okay? Lam, L. If you focus there, if you just hold it there for a few seconds, and you'll understand, that is where lam is coming from. Now let's look at the next letter. It is noon. Noon, okay? Noon, dear brothers and sisters, noon, lam, coming from the same place. The only difference is that if you focus on the N sounding letter, that is noon, if you focus on that, the tip of the tongue is much more sharper and it's more pointed at the top of the gums of the front, behind the front two teeth. Lam, it is a bit more flat. When it's making impact, the tip of the tongue is a bit more flat than noon. Right. There's a third letter that we want to add to this group, and we all are very familiar with this letter. That is the letter Ra. It comes from the same place as Lam and Noon, but the only difference is that you are rolling it. Okay, you are rolling the R a bit more and you are applying more pressure, okay, and it has a vibration. So the tongue is vibrating against the area where, when it rises up to the top of the gums, it is vibrating constantly. So it's not like the R in English, R for rover or ranger, you know, R. It is a very soft R. The Arabic R is a bit more heavier, Ra, Ra, okay? You're sort of vibrating the tongue a bit more, Ra. Same place as Lam and Noon, but the only difference is that you are going to vibrate the tongue, Ra, okay? These are the first four groups, dear brothers and sisters. Now let's look at the next group that we will come, okay? If you just bear with me, let us rub this out and get to group number 5. Right. Brothers and sisters, let's look at group number 5. Okay? Group number 5. So as we left off from group number 4, Lam, Noon and Ra, the next group is Seen. Za, Seen. Okay? Just like how we said in English, the S sounding letter, za, the z, z, if you are British or American, any pronunciation, z or z, okay, seen, za, okay. Now let's look at this, okay, when we are writing it, whoops, sorry about that, I just went a bit more ahead of myself, but let's just look. We've got 3 beautiful curves and it has a little belly that comes down. Seen. What's happening now, brothers and sisters, with seen? If you look at the previous letters, the jaw was sort of open. Lam, Noon, okay, Ra. The jaw was a bit open. Now what's happening is that we are moving with the bottom part of our jaw as well. Seen. So what's happening now is that we are closing the jaws, okay, they are coming together, but the tongue is also rising up. The tongue is flat, mind you. The tongue is flat. So when it's rising up flat, and it's creating a little narrow passageway that is just on the point where we said for our previous group, if you look at group 4, we said that Lam and Noon, okay, they are making impact with the gums, but here they are not making impact. They are leaving a little gap there to be able to make a little whistling type of sound. S, okay? Right? That is seen. Next letter. Z. Exactly like English, okay? So it's like seen, but you are applying a bit more pressure on Z. Now, there's a very tricky letter that is in the same group, but we are going to talk about that because it's very difficult to pronounce. A lot of people have issues with that, and it's fine because we are not Arabs and this language is new to us. As I said in our first session, when we learn a new language, we have to sort of rewire our mouth and our tongue and the way we move and the way we articulate so that we can perfect the speech, perfect the pronunciation, the articulation. And that letter, dear brothers and sisters, is Swad. Now this is the last letter in this section that we're going to talk about, and we're going to continue with the next groups in the following sections, but let's leave it at Swad, and that we can pronounce it and practice it more. Brothers and sisters at home, please, when you are watching all of these sessions, at the same time keep pronouncing it. In the day when you're walking around, you're at home, you know, you're just about to go to sleep, just keep playing with these letters, you know, around so that your mouth gets used to it. Let's look at this letter Swad. Swad, okay? It sounds like Seen. A lot of the people have the similar pronunciation, okay? When they want to recite, for example, salawat, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So it's not salli, okay? So it's not with a Seen type of sound. It is actually a Swad, and it's one of the rounded letters, okay? So please remember with that as well. It's one of the rounded letters. What's happening now, you're starting off like as if you're pronouncing Seen, and also you're rounding your lips, okay? But what's happening now is that instead of the tongue moving up, the tongue moves down, okay? Seen and Za, the tongue was sort of rising up to the top part of the mouth. Here in Swad, it's moving down, and some of the experts, they say that it goes and touches the bottom of the incisors from the inside. Swad, Swad, and you have a rounded area, and the point of exhalation where the air is coming out is just going to be below your lip. Swad, Swad. So your mouth is closing, lips are rounded, okay? Let's go together. Mouth closing, lips are rounded, and you are applying the tongue to the bottom of the teeth, and you are saying you're just then exhaling with that and applying the pressure as well, because it's a tough letter, it's a strong letter. Swad, salat, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. That is group 5, brothers and sisters, and then we are going to continue with the next groups in our following sessions. But please practice these letters again. It's very easy, it's not difficult. Always practice, and with practice comes perfect. You know, you make yourself perfect, and of course you are going to perfect your prayers. When you pray, you're going to be praying properly, and also when you're reciting the Holy Quran, you're going to be reciting it properly, and also when you're reading the Arabic text, you will understand what you are going through. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi at-tahirin.